Hi everyone, and welcome to another one of my how-to videos. Today we are going to be doing some neon French tip croc nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is I am acting as if this practice finger were a real finger, so you guys know the steps, step-by-step full tutorial on how to do nails like these. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing my 𝘊𝘰𝘠𝘠𝘰𝘯𝘵 file with their mandrel bit, and I'm putting on the fine sanding band, which are the pink sanding bands from my website, Crafts by 9. I'm going over the entire nail to take off any natural oils that your nail produces that will avoid any lifting. So you just go over the entire nail with the speed of about 3,000 RPMs, or the slowest speed on your e-file. That way it doesn't burn, it doesn't create any dents in your client's nails. We don't want none of that. So then I am putting on my nail forms because we are doing a sculpted set today. I love doing sculpted sets ever since I took my sculpted nail class years ago. I fell in love with it and I just love practicing it. It's obviously something you don't want to forget how to do. It's something to have, it's something good to have on your sleeve, like just in case you ever have a client that says, you know, I want sculpted nails. Because there are some, I've had a few when I was taking clients, they would ask me to sculpt their nails and I would freak out because it was like, you know, it's a little more time consuming and it requires you to do a little bit more because you're sculpting out a nail. But it's just so much fun and I just really love doing it. And that's why on my how-to videos, a lot of my watch me works and acrylic application videos, I usually do sculpted sets because it's just so satisfying to me. But the nail forms are from Not Polish, along with their acrylic brush in the number 12. The monomer is from 𝘊𝘰𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘠. And the first thing that I want to do, since I am doing an acrylic French tip nail and I'm sculpting them out, I want to have a base first. So I'm using clear. The colors that I will be using are Brain Freeze and I think it's Nude Panther, but I just completely skipped over that. I didn't see it. But everything will be linked down below and everything was shown on the screen too. I tend to do these videos days or weeks before and then I forget once I'm doing the voiceover exactly what products I used, but that's why they're always linked down below for you guys. So the first thing after I do my clear base, so basically with the clear base that I'm doing, I do it super thin. It is only for like if it were a nail tip underneath, right? You need something underneath to sculpt out. So it's just a little bit easier because I don't want to go in with the colored acrylic and do that part. It is a little bit of an extra step, but I feel personally that it does cut a little bit of time. And also, if your client comes in for a fill, you can just, you know, drill it all the way down to like the clear. So it's easier. It's a win-win for both of you guys, and it's just faster. I tend to do this when I'm using colored acrylics on top, or when I'm doing all acrylic, which I am doing in this case. So after that, I'm going to draw in my Frenchie with the nude acrylic, and I'm doing it all acrylic, like I keep mentioning. So I want it to be the thickness that I want. I don't want it to be thin because I'm gonna not encapsulate anymore. I don't want to go too thick with the encapsulation. The only other time that I'm using the clear now is after I apply my colored acrylic down, and then I kind of blend in the two to create a cohesive nail. But other than that, I don't want to, like, I just rather use a lot of product. And you can, of course, use a little bit of product and then go in with the clear acrylic and encapsulate the entire thing to create the thickness that you're looking for. But I myself like to do it this way. I'm not sure, it's just like a personal preference. And now that I am completely done with the nude and I'm happy with the shape, you can definitely go in with your hand file and, you know, make the shape that you want. But I'm pretty content with like the shape of it, so I felt like there was no need for me to go in and file. So all I did was I went in with the next color, which is this beautiful, stunning, vibrant colored acrylic from Not Polish, and it's called Brain Freeze. And I wanted the base to be a bright blue color because the Croc nail art itself is going to be a bright green. And so I really wanted a nice contrast. And so I use this bright blue. This is more on the thinner side because it is considered a pigment color, but I really love Not Polish's pigment colors because they can be used as pigment colors or they can be used on its own. So I love that it's like in between a thin consistency. Can't speak today. I love how it's between a thin consistency and a thick one. So it makes it super easy to use, and you're able to use it so many different ways too. So it is going to be a little bit thinner, as you can see, than the nude acrylic because they are different consistencies. One is more of a pigment color because it has a lot of pigment in it, and the other one is more of a cover acrylic, which is on the thicker side. And so I just really took my time to work with this because I didn't want to create a mess and then have to do a lot of hand filing after. And I also needed to be careful with the nude part because, like I said, this is super, super pigmented. So any little thing can really cause it to get blue on it. So I just have to be really, really careful. And I make sure to get all the corners because you're obviously going to be able to see this from, you know, the finish, at the finish, once you're finished. So once you're finished, you're going to be really able to see everything from this because I'm not going to do much after that. I'm just going to go in with the clear acrylic. So just make it as clean as possible, or just know that you're going to have to go in with your hand file and e-file and work with that. So I don't worry about the beads when it comes to French tip because you just never know. You might need a little bit here and a little bit there. But all in all, it doesn't really matter because the end result is going to be the same as if you did 2 beads, if you did 1 bead, or if you did 20. Just know that it does take a little bit of time. So you obviously want to work on your timing. And this is what the finish looks like. It does look a little bit bumpy and lumpy, the blue part, but don't worry because we are now going to go in with the clear acrylic, like I mentioned, and just encapsulate all of that to make it the thickness that I want. And it's just going to look super put together, which I love. It really just brings the whole thing, you know, to one cohesive look. There's going to be no dents, no bumps, no nothing. It's going to just look really perfect as if you did it with one color. And it just brings the whole thing together. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I am using the Not Polish Clear, which is one of my favorite clear acrylics. Super easy to work with. Little to no bubbles. It just also depends on the temperature and your beads. So work on your liquid to powder ratio to have no bubbles. But this acrylic is one of the easiest that I have worked with, the clear. And I definitely recommend it for beginners. And you can see right here, like, it's super, super easy to work with. And you don't have to apply like so many beads to it because it just really works well. So we are finishing that up, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to completely dry, obviously, before you take off the forms. And then once I know 100% that it's completely dry, you can see it, and then you can tap it with the end of your acrylic brush. Just hear that sound. There's a sound between when it's dry and when it's not. So once you're sure of that, you can take off the form. And then I'm going in with the 𝘈𝘂𝘗 hand file and the 𝘈𝘂𝘗 nail dust collector, which is back in stock. Make sure you guys go and check out their website for their nail dust collector, which sells out super, super fast. They're available in different colors. I do have the pink one, and I'm obsessed with it. My favorite nail dust collector ever. And it just really helps out. If you really need anything as a beginner nail tech, I recommend a nail dust collector. You don't want to be inhaling all of the, you know, everything that you're basically doing. And trust me, it, like, if you look at your nail dust collector at the end of each client, it's so much dust. So it's 100% recommended to have one. So now I'm going in with my fine pink sanding band again with the same e-file from 𝘂𝑪𝘰𝘯, the purple one. And I'm going over the entire nail, sealing the cuticle area, making sure that it just looks perfect, that there's no bumps, there's no lumps, and just make sure to seal that cuticle area to avoid any lifting. I go back and forth. I usually do the speed at around 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs. I don't like to go any faster. I do take a little bit of my time to do this part because I don't want to burn the client, and because sometimes when I go a little bit faster, like my sanding man or my drill goes all crazy and then it like rotates around the nail, if you know what I mean. So I just like to go a little bit slower, but I think 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs is like perfect for me, and that is a speed that I've always liked to use. Then I'm going in with my pink buffer blocks to buff out and just smooth the entire nail before we go in with any nail art. Then I grab my pink lint-free wipes from Crafts by 9 and my Young Nail Swipe to go over the entire nail to make sure that there's no dust left on the nail before we go in with any nail art, because that is going to stay onto the nail. So this is where the magic happens. I'm using 𝘂𝑃olish's Blossom Gel, which whenever I'm doing like Croc or, you know, anything like that, I always make sure to use this one. It is the bomb, you guys. So what I'm doing is I'm applying it only where I'm going to be doing the actual Croc design. You don't have to go over the entire nail if you don't want to. It's just going to, I know I'm only doing it on the French tip, so I don't need to do it anywhere else. So what I do is I just apply it where I'm going to do it, where I'm going to put the Croc, and I'm just very careful because I'm just using the applicator. It is clear, so you're obviously not going to see it because we're going to put a glossy top coat on top anyway. So I just go over that really, really carefully, and then I'm using this gel color from 𝘂𝑃olish as well. And I can't see what it's called, but I will be leaving it linked down below. I put it on my Heart nail art palette, and grabbing a dotting tool, you do not cure this Blossom Gel, you guys. Important, do not cure yet. So you leave it just applied, and then you go over the nail wherever you want the Croc design, and you can just see it blossoming, you can see it spreading, and you can just see it all coming together. So I apply a pretty decent amount of the color that I'm using, and it just starts to spread, and it's a really, really awesome effect. It makes it look so cool. I leave it on there for a few seconds to make sure that it all kind of blends, or that it all spreads the same. And then I cure it under the lamp for 60 seconds, and I go in with my glossy no wipe gel top coat to just bring it all together. And I am obsessed with how this came out, you guys. It will look super, super cute on a full set. If you guys do a full set after watching this video, then tag me in it, you guys. I would love to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what video you would like to see me do next. I have a lot of how-to videos coming up because I get a lot of DMs from you guys from different things you want to see. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.